Hello everyone, this is Thekeyboardviking with the conclusion of my 10-hour trial period of Mass Effect Andromeda. First of all, I want to say that it's been really a joy playing this game. It has been really awesome to get a trial period of this, to see the game firsthand finally after what seems like 600 years waiting for this game. Like, it was us traveling to Andromeda, just waiting for the next chapter of Mass Effect. Something that after Mass Effect 3 I did not expect to come at all. I thought that I had to say goodbye to the series back then, but it is a complete pleasure to be back into this universe, or actually another universe, but you get what I mean. And just to play in this gaming world again with all its lore and background stories. First of all, let's talk about some things about the game. It is a new chapter. There's no doubt about that. One shouldn't think it's gonna be like the old Mass Effect games. It is a completely new chapter, and they are trying something new. It's not about Shepard. It is something brand new. You can also feel that in the style and the way your character is. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think it's refreshing to take on a whole new approach to this game series. Also, I think there's a lot of extra and very nice features brought into the game, different ways to do things. One of the best features I've seen in this game, compared to the previous Mass Effect games, what has been improved the most, I've mentioned before, it is the combat for me. Previously, as I've mentioned, for me, when you're in combat in Mass Effect, it could be intense, but most of the time it was just a matter about getting from A to B, and then in order to advance your story, in order to get to the next cutscene, to make the next dialogue choices. In this game, I don't feel combat like that. I feel combat much more dynamic. I feel combat is much more thrilling. And for me, the reason for that is with the introduction of the jetpack. I was very nervous at the start when I heard about the introduction of the jetpack. I thought it was wouldn't fit the game. I was very nervous to see how that would play out. But I must admit that all my thoughts about that had been calmed, and I think it's been a very nice addition. The reason I think it's a very nice addition to the game is that in the previous games I felt like when you came to combat, you would take forth your weapon, find your best cover, and then shoot whatever, pop their heads out, and then hold your ground. And if your cover was compromised, you would act upon that, find new cover, and then start all over. Unless, of course, you were a vanguard and a living god and just charge everything and use Nova and laugh at everything at highest difficulty mode, but that's a different matter. All the rest of the classes, the mortals, would I felt that was the way to play the game. In this game, however, I think it's much more dynamic and interesting because you have the jetpack. You have a higher sense of mobility, so you can actually shift between covers and areas of the battlefield in order to use it to your advantage, without that you get shot from every side, because you actually dodge things with the quick boost and such. There are still places you can't reach. The jetpack can't give you great distance advantages, but it can quickly get you from cover to cover. So instead of just waiting for things to pop up and then regroup, you can actually think about flanking your opponents and catch them off guard. And I think that is really interesting and made combat for me very fun. The story itself, I think the concept is really interesting. It's a brand new galaxy. See what's out there. But so far, the story hasn't really gripped me yet. But still, we are in the early stages of the story, and I think we've just scratched the surface of what this story really is. Who are the Kett? What are the motivations? Why are they seeking all this Remnant technology? Does Remnant technology actually have anything to do with the Reapers in some sort? Or is this actually a Reaper-free game? Has this galaxy at all been affected by the Reapers? And if so, who are the Remnants? Who had this technology? It seems very advanced, and I find it very interesting to see where this leads. Other than that, I think that there's been some drastic changes in other places as well. We have gone from levels. Mass Effect 1 to 3, it was levels you played. Now you play more half open world. It's not completely open world, but it's very similar to one of the previous big games from BioWare and EA games, Dragon Age. It is very similar to Dragon Age Inquisition in the way that you have this half open world area. You have to complete quests in the area, make the area more viable for the settlements, and explore the area to do so. And so I don't think that's a bad step. I think actually it's a very interesting step because I felt really compelled and I wanted to explore the area. However, like a Dragon Age Inquisition, it can make some places a bit of a drag because there are a lot of things to explore. Where I felt the most in this part was after I quit last episode, and then I spent approximately 45 minutes by myself just exploring the place, not taking any quest things, just looking for resources. And in the previous games where you had to mine planets in this really boring mini game, at least it was fairly quick. Here, the whole mining thing with the Nomad, as you saw in the previous episode, can take quite a while if you want all the resources. I must admit that I scoured an area, got the resources down to low, and then I left the area to find a new place to do something because I spent 15 minutes looking for the last place where the rest of the resources in the area was, since it's still set low and I couldn't find it anywhere. And driving the Nomad around in that place can actually be annoying sometimes. It's not anything near the Mako. The Mako is horrible in so many ways, but here you're not as mobile, and sometimes the best place to mine is you have to park your Nomad on ledges where it's almost tipping over the edge or on rollover, and if you want the maximum resource when you mine, and I think that can be a bit of annoying. I would much rather had some kind of else management system with mining, but they have gone for their more practical approach to mining things, and it's another take on it. Instead of we are on a spaceship and scouting a planet, we are down on the planet looking more locally. But I would rather had some more management minigame instead of this, but it's a matter of a taste, really. One of the big things that has been talked about a lot, which I've also mentioned before in one of the previous episodes, is the facial animations. Personally, I think the facial animations are good enough. I don't have any complaints, really. I mentioned it earlier. It may be just me who doesn't set the standard high enough compared to others, or some might say that I'm just a fanboy. Well, then I can leave the channel. No, but really, all seriousness, I've seen games with better facial expressions, sure thing. But most of those games is games where you don't get to customize your character's face yourself. Most of these games where I've seen epic facial animations is in games where the characters are predefined. That means that developers can look over your character and make sure that every expression is correct and looks good. These kind of games, you have to be a bit larger, I think, in your what you call it, in the bar you set for facial animations, since you can customize your character's face a lot. And depending how you make your character, I guess there are some animations that's going to look a bit differently. So when developing a game like this, you have to take into account that the animation expressions you make, the physical traits, have to work with all the kind of faces players are going to make. I'm not a game developer, but I believe that that is something that you have to take into account. So I'm quite satisfied with what I've seen so far. I don't think it's that bad, but also it may just be because that I'm not too picky about these things. I think the game is great. I think the graphics are great. Really, really, they're fantastic. Really, there are games out there who have better graphics, but compared to a lot of the games out there, I think it's really beautiful. And some say, I've seen places where some say that it's not that much better than Mass Effect 3. Well, I think when you objectively look at it, it is much more beautiful than Mass Effect 3. And of course it is. It's been several years since Mass Effect 3 came out. And I think it is still, when Mass Effect 3 came out, the level of graphics at that from that time, Mass Effect 3 was in a good position, looked really good, and I think this game does the same. If I have I think the biggest downfall for me in this game, my biggest concern is actually character creation. I have heard rumors that more options are getting unlocked when the full game comes out here in a week. However, I cannot confirm or deny it. But I think that compared to previous games and what Bio and EA games are capable of, I think that that portion of the game is lacking severely. Especially where you have to choose the background for Shepard, a lot of facial construction. Even also you couldn't change your brow type like you could in every other game almost. You had to go for the preset, and that preset, the brow you had there, that was the one you had to deal with. And I think that's really a shame. So I really hope that it just didn't make it to the trial and it actually gets unlocked in the full game. I really hope so, or else that they're gonna disappoint me there if they don't do that. But besides that, I think it has been a really good game. I am definitely gonna buy it. There's no doubt about that. I want to see where the story leads. As said, I think we only scratched the surface, so the story hasn't really dragged me in yet. But I see a lot of promising aspects of this game that I want to explore, really. And that's what this game is about. We are Pathfinder. We're going to explore this new galaxy, and I can't wait for that. So, tell me what you've liked about this game, what you didn't like, comments about this playthrough, and your thoughts about the game. Do you agree with me, or do you completely disagree with me, which is completely fine. We all have different opinions, so leave some comments about that. If you disagree, of course, keep in mind that let's have a civil tone. I've seen a lot of people just going into the high area, total red, and really shouting things about this game, and I think that's a shame, really, because why not just talk about this game instead? So if you have some comments, let's keep it civil and talk about it. And who knows, maybe you can actually get to see these facial things, which I haven't noticed at all. I've been thinking about if I'm going to continue with playing this game as a Let's Play, and I definitely think I will. When the game comes out, I will investigate if there are more character customization options. If there is, and there's a lot of different things I can make compared to what I was offered, then I might start a new game and then just play up to this part and then continue. And if there's any changes, I will inform you of that. If not, well, I think I'm just gonna start from here again, and yeah, from where we took off. I've also considered maybe doing the Mass Effect storyline as a Let's Play, if that had any interest as a viewer, if you want to see me play the previous games and see what kind of Mass Effect story I would make. As I say, I play this game as myself, as I would as a person. However, if I do so, I will say that I would probably skip Mass Effect 1. Mass Effect 1 is an excellent game, no doubt about that. But let's be honest that it is a lot slower than the other games. And of course it was the first in the series, and a lot of new concepts being tried out. And I know a lot of people who want to try the Mass Effect series because they hear from everyone it's one of the best sci-fi and RPGs out there, but they just stop while they play Mass Effect 1 because it is really a slow-paced game compared to, and the gameplay is not awesome in Mass Effect 1. I think most of us can agree on that, but for us who like RPGs and sci-fi games, Mass Effect 1 is still a good game, no doubt about that. But if I were to play it all through again as a Let's Play to show my story, I would probably start with Mass Effect 2 and either make a save through a save generator or with one of my previous saves. And if I did, I would of course inform you of what choices I've made before Mass Effect 2. So if that would have any interest to see that as a Let's Play, also post it in a comment. Hopefully I will get my Facebook site up and running soon, and there you will be able to participate in the community much more about my Let's Play channel, and I will post stuff about which direction you want to see me take with games. I'm not saying that I'm not going to decide myself, it's my channel after all, but I wouldn't mind giving my viewers an option to have some influence in what they want to see. I'm gonna give some options and see about what direction my viewers want to look. So, but that's what I had for this game, this Let's Play. I thought it was really fun, and I hope you enjoyed watching this. And I can't wait to explore Andromeda. So, hope you stick around this channel and you like these videos, and also check out the other videos I have at the moment. At the moment we are playing XCOM 2, and tomorrow is Sunday. Actually it's Sunday now, so later today, 1 minute past midnight here. So that means later today we're going to continue our next episode of Retro Sunday. Check it out what that is. And other than that, hope to see you again. So see you around.